news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
It's nice and comfortable out here on the patio right now. Temperatures are in the low 70s, but we're about to see a big dip overnight. I'll show you how chilly it'll be tomorrow morning.
And breaking news, new charges against a man with a history of arrests. What the suspect is accused of doing at a local Walmart.
Also breaking news from the State Board of Elections. New voting rules for people with missing or mismatched information. How you can make sure that your vote counts.
Sunny skies and cool temperatures for the afternoon. Look at this, not a cloud in the sky as we look live across the triangle. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Chris Levingood. Thanks so much for joining us. We have Elizabeth Gardner outside in the WRAL weather patio. I mean, we're not jealous at all that you get to be out there.
Of course not. That's right. That is one of the perks for sure. And as you mentioned, it is just completely clear there as we look across Garner. They're just a beautiful, beautiful day. You know, yesterday we had the cool temperatures, but we also had the clouds and a little bit of drizzle, which actually made for a nice, relaxing Sunday. You know, kind of hide out inside, you know, maybe read a book. But today is going to be one of those get outside days. 73 degrees right now. Dew point dropped to 46. I cannot remember when our dew point was in the 40s. I mean, that's something that we see, you know, like in November, and it feels so nice outside. So nice and crisp. That means there's not very much moisture in the atmosphere, and that also means that our temperatures can really start to drop overnight once the sun goes down. Feeling great this afternoon. We'll be in the mid 70s in the north and upper 70s down south. Looking at, say, 77, 76 around the triangle area. But look at this. Our temperature overnight could drop to 48 in Roxborough, 53 in Durham, 55 in Raleigh, and those temperatures would be at least 5 or more degrees cooler than what we saw this morning. So I came in, long sleeves, light sweater this morning. Tomorrow morning, it's going to be back to jacket weather for sure. I'll show you how long these unusually cool temperatures will stick around coming up.
Elizabeth, thank you. A Raleigh man is facing charges of secret peeping and exposing himself at a local Walmart. 27-year-old Sergio Aguilar Mendoza was arrested Sunday at the Walmart on New Bern Avenue. That's where we find WRAL's Sean Gallagher. Sean, this isn't his first run-in with law enforcement.
Yeah, that's right, Renee. He's been arrested some 9 times in the last 10 years. The latest at this Walmart here behind me on New Bern Ave for those charges of exposing himself and peeping. Now, court records say Aguilar Mendoza was in the women's room at this Walmart using his cell phone to take photos of a person inside the stall. And court records show he later exposed himself on the side of the building. It's a major concern for shoppers at this very busy store, an invasion of privacy in the place they may feel most vulnerable.
Why do you need to look in a women's bathroom? That's really gross, and it makes me feel like unsafe a little bit.
Aguilar Mendoza has been arrested for assaults, attempted rape, and kidnapping in the past, and has a conviction of assaulting a woman in 2020 in New Hanover County. Now, Aguilar Mendoza is being held without bond in this case, and he will make his first appearance early this afternoon. In Raleigh, Sean Gallagher, WRAL News.
And happening now in the WRAL Live Center, the search continues this noon hour for 7-year-old Liam King. I want you to take a look at your screen right now, and that's who we're talking about. This is a picture of Liam. The Randolph County Sheriff's Office says he's nonverbal and wandered off yesterday. You likely got an alert on your phone over the weekend about his disappearance. Liam was last seen in Ashboro wearing a light blue and black hoodie along with black sweatpants. Deputies say he might run off if you try to approach him. Again, Liam is 7 years old. He's nonverbal. If you think you've seen him or you have any inkling of someone else who may have seen him, you're encouraged to call 911.
We hope they find him soon. Ken, thank you. Breaking at noon, the State Board of Elections just approved new rules for voters with missing or mismatched voter information. This comes after the state was
A judge ordered a man charged with a deadly stabbing on a light rail train in Charlotte to be evaluated for 60 days in a local hospital. This is DeCarlos Brown Jr.
Newly released video shows the moment officers say he pulled out a knife and stabbed a 23-year-old woman to death. Jesse Pierre reports last month's attack has raised questions on whether the transit system is safe, and a warning, some of you might find the video difficult to watch.
This is video surveillance of the night. Arena Zarutska enters the blue line at the East-West Boulevard station stop. You can see she takes a seat directly in front of DeCarlos Brown, the suspect. At first, nothing seems unusual, but 4 minutes later, he pulls out what appears to be a pocket knife and suddenly stabs Zarutska multiple times. Zarutska then collapses as Brown walks to the front car, takes off his sweater, and wraps his hand before exiting the train. Police arrested him on the platform shortly after. Kat says nothing in Brown's behavior that night raised alarms before the stabbing. Former FBI agent and former federal prosecutor M. Quinton Williams gave us his take on this and whether improved security could help prevent future incidents like this one.
I think they have a good camera system, and that's really important. And that can be a deterrent in and of itself. It also helps to solve the crime, which it did here. My question would be about the private security or off-duty police security that patrols the line. Is that adequate?
And that was Jesse Pierre reporting. We're learning more about the victim, Irina Zarutska, who fled Ukraine in 2022 with her mother, sister, and brother to escape the war with Russia. A North Carolina family is raising concerns after they say their child was bitten by a copperhead and the daycare where it happened never called 911. This happened at the New Beginnings Child Enrichment Center in Alexander County, which is south of Wilkesboro, North Carolina. The facility says the child was bitten on the playground and a worker killed the snake. Family members say the child's guardian is the one who took the boy to the hospital. Emergency services in Alexander County say they never got a 911 call from the facility. The daycare declined to comment.
New video shows DOT's efforts at the Tennessee state line to repair I-40. See, right now, teams are building bridges so they can access and store materials near the interstate. We have reported a lot about efforts to repair the highway after Hurricane Helene caused extensive damage. DOT doesn't expect the road to fully reopen for another 3 years, but leaders estimate that it will cost $1 billion. This is a good time to remind you that we are bringing you stories of heartbreak and hope in the mountains 1 year after the hurricane. It's part of our new documentary, Helene, What We Lost, What We Found. That airs Thursday, September 25th at 7:30 on TV or wherever you stream WRAL.
We are grateful for this quiet weather, and what a way to start the work week, especially after yesterday. Such a difference that today makes. Elizabeth Gardner is out on all that sunshine right now.
Yeah, it's so pretty out here right now. It's been a little bit breezy at the moment. The wind is fairly light, but I'm going to show you what it is in just a second. We'll take a live look at the gardens behind me, and you can see we actually have a few people out there. What a beautiful day to spend some time in our gardens. They're famous for the azaleas, of course, but there's something blooming in our gardens at least all through the summer. You know, maybe not so much in the winter, but still such a nice break from the city. All sorts of trails wandering through and sculptures. It's a great place to be. 73 is our current temperature, and remember we talked about that dew point at 46. That is low. That means that it's just feeling very comfortable out there right now. Okay, our wind gusts are in the white box on the right. So we're gusting to 26 in Fayetteville, 24 in Durham and Raleigh, 25 in Rocky Mount, 23 in Goldsboro. And you can see that the wind is definitely moving my hair around. Now the wind is coming out of the north, and so it definitely feels nice and comfortable outside right now. You can see our winds are likely to gust up to around 20 or so all the way through the afternoon, and then we'll see those winds dying down a little bit as we get into the evening. We check out our temperatures, feeling great out here. 70 in Roxboro, 73 in Southern Pines, 75 in Goldsboro. Just a lovely, lovely afternoon. Look at 70s in the Triangle too. 72 Apex, 73 in Holly Springs, 71 in Rollsville. Around town this afternoon, 77 in Raleigh, 75 in Durham, and 80 in Fayetteville. So again, feels just real nice and comfortable out there. Here's why. We have a low pressure system to our north and east and a high pressure system back to the west. Well, the low rotates counterclockwise, the low rotates clockwise, and they work together to draw down the air from the north. And so we do have a nice northerly flow out there right now, and so that is keeping our temperatures cool. We saw a nice drop in our humidity. 85 is our normal high, and we're going to be below that all the way through Friday. Actually, we could add Saturday and Sunday to that as well. Muggy meter feeling very comfortable down at refreshing right now, but it's likely to be somewhere in the comfy zone all the way through the next 5 days. 66 is our normal low, and we'll solidly be in the 50s. Tomorrow morning is going to feel pretty chilly at 55. I'm going to be out here definitely in my jacket, but boy, it's going to make for some really nice baseball weather. Starting tomorrow, it'll be the Bulls' last homestand of the year, and we're looking at game time temperatures in the low 70s and mainly clear skies. Last week, we were talking a lot about a potential system coming off the coast of Africa, and at this point, it does not look like we're going to see any storms in the Atlantic basin anytime in the next 7 days. But if that changes, we'll definitely let you know. It just looks like such a pretty weekend, or such a pretty week as well. 70s up through Wednesday, and then low 80s Thursday through Sunday. It's that just Goldilocks time of year that everybody hopes for, and hope that it'll stick around for a bit. Woo! There goes the wind.
It is breezy out there.
Guitar dress flipping around, little box hair going crazy out there. Thanks, Elizabeth.
The future of trash disposal. A Wake County landfill could be full in as soon as 15 years. Hear what waste disposal solutions leaders are proposing. That's coming up at 4.
Then cost of care. Tonight at 5, we hear how much it will cost the state to reopen what will become the state's first rural emergency hospital. AI protection. Companies use it to document the condition of their products, and now you can use that tech too. How a 2-minute scan could save consumers thousands of dollars.
And guilt tipping. Americans are fighting back against social pressure to leave a little extra on the table. We'll break down the result of a recent study. Millions of federal student loan borrowers are getting close to defaulting on their loans. Experts are warning about a potential default cliff as early as this fall. 5 on your side's Ashley Rowe explains why so many are suddenly at risk.
There was a pause on federal student loans during COVID that lasted about 4 years. Payments have restarted, and about 6.5 million borrowers now find themselves behind on payments.
A lot of people, because of the pause on payments during the COVID pandemic, maybe fell out of touch with their loans or thought that for one reason or another, they don't have to pay anymore. There was so much news around the prior administration canceling loans, and they did cancel some loans, and then the Supreme Court prevented them from canceling other loans, that people just truly may not understand the status of their current loans.
The first thing you need to do to figure out the status of your loan is to log into studentaid.gov. That's where to find really important information about your loan. If the payment you owe is more than you can afford, there are options for relief. We'll talk you through those tonight on WRAL News. Ashley Rowe, 5 on your side.
And coming up in our next half hour, we'll share why some analysts say the current economy is preventing students and postgraduates from achieving financial independence.
Artificial intelligence is helping to enhance customer interactions through call centers. This year, AI call center platforms are expected to dominate the business. They're providing real-time feedback and personalized consumer interactions. The technology helps agents eliminate mundane tasks like clicking countless menus just to help a caller. And a new AI tool could help consumers fight false damage claims from car rental companies. Rental car companies already use AI tools to establish the condition of cars when they rent to drivers. Well, now consumers can establish the condition of the vehicles upon return. There's a new app called Proofer. Essentially, it allows renters to take before and after timestamp photos of their own. The images are stored in a way they can't be altered.
About 40% of consumers are concerned holiday gifts will cost more this year. 30% say they expect to spend less. A new survey from Bankrate finds about half of the people plan to start their holiday shopping before the end of October, including 13% who started last month. Wow. Bankrate says worries about the impact of tariffs are a big reason why shoppers are fearing higher prices. They're planning ahead, though. More than a third of consumers say inflation will change how they shop. Well, people are no longer giving tips out of guilt. New research shows customers are backing off on what's called guilt tipping. The term refers to social pressure or fear of judgment when asked to leave tips, especially through point-of-sale automated systems instead of giving tips voluntarily. The report also found consumers guilt tipped 4 times a month compared to 6 times a month a year ago.
And which is why that's our question, right? Do you think tipping is a choice or an obligation? We have that QR code you can scan right there. And this will let you kind of, I don't know, I'm curious to see what people are thinking there. I always do 20% across the board, but guilt tipping, can't catch me. Nope. All right, so what app is adding support for live photos on Apple devices? The app previously rolled out similar support for motion photos on Android last month. The tech news site Wabeda Info says that a new software update for iOS devices will allow live photos in chats, groups, and channels. Users can decide whether to send photos as a still image or the original moving clip.
Carolina kettle crash. Raleigh police are searching for 2 people involved in an early morning crash at a local potato chip business.
And clear communication. Is it safe to take acetaminophen during pregnancy? Obstetricians weigh in on a new study linking use to higher risk of ADHD. And we do have a look right now at your winning NC Education lottery numbers.
Happening now in the WRAL Live Center, a federal appeals court today upholding a more than $83 million defamation judgment against President Trump that E. Jean Carroll won against the president. The three-judge panel rejecting Trump's attorney's argument that the verdict was both excessive and invalid, following the U.S. Supreme Court decision that expanded his presidential immunity. Now, the appeals court ruled Trump did not identify any grounds that would warrant throwing out the verdict. The decision comes less than a week after Trump's attorney signaled they will soon ask the U.S. Supreme Court to overturn a jury verdict in a second civil case that Carroll brought against the president, for which she received about $5 million. We will continue to follow this developing story and bring you any new developments here in the WRAL Live Center.
No, you will, Ken. Thank you. Raleigh police are searching for two people who ran off after crashing into two businesses.
It happened at the potato chip company Carolina Kettle over on Hillsborough Street. Ali Calabar is in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker with what we know so far.
That car went almost completely inside of this building behind me. It is now deemed unsafe. You can see it marked there at the entrance. This is Carolina Kettle. It is a kettle-cooked potato chip store. You can even see potato chips lining that entrance there. Well, to the left is that large hole. You can see the damage from the outside. The car crashed through Carolina Kettle. It kept going and hit the wall of the gym behind it, Golf Performance. Listen to the owners describe the damage inside.
Knocked off a couple mirrors. The whole wall's bowed in about 6 inches or so. So just some building damage there.
Maybe just some displays and some product. But yeah, they missed the office, so hopefully everything in there is fine.
All that damage from the crash that happened around 12:30 this morning. A car plowed into the building off Hillsborough Street. The driver was not on the scene when police showed up. Police are searching for the person or people involved. We're working to find out if anybody has been arrested or charged in this crash. We're also working to find out if there's any long-term impacts these business owners may be facing. Reporting in Raleigh, Ali Calabar, WRAL News.
A person had to be rescued after getting trapped in their car after a crash in Raleigh. Video from our Breaking News Tracker shows the scene last night near Mitchell Mill and Lewisburg roads. Two cars crashed. The people involved only had minor injuries.
An organization dedicated to creating an inclusive environment for women at NC State has been suspended. The Council on the Status of Women was suspended for the current academic year in compliance with the UNC system's new equality policy. The policy requires all schools within the system eliminate DEI efforts at their schools. On the council's website, there's a message about the suspension. It reads in part, quote, "The decision was not an easy one. It was made with sincere appreciation of the Council on the Status of Women and all its members, current and past." UNC Chapel Hill and NC Central University are working to comply with those new policies as well. UNC eliminated 20 roles and 41 vacant positions. It realigned 27 other jobs. NC Central has realigned funds from the Office of DEI to the Department of Student Development and Support. Both schools say the work to stay in compliance is ongoing.
And happening now in the WRAL Live Center, the U.S. Supreme Court overturning a lower court ruling that curtailed the Los Angeles detention operations after federal agents were accused of indiscriminately targeting people based on race and other factors. The U.S. Supreme Court ruling means the Trump administration can resume immigration raids in the L.A. area. Now, the justices did not offer rationales for their decision, which is common in cases decided on the emergency docket. The court's three liberal judges sharply dissented from the majority opinion. The raids, of course, sparked major protests in Southern California. That's when President Trump deployed National Guard troops to that area, most of whom have been sent home. It's we don't know just yet if this ruling will mean a redeployment of those troops. We'll keep an eye on this story and have any updates here in the WRAL Live Center.
We'll certainly be following it. Ken, thank you. New questions over a popular pain reliever and whether it's okay for pregnant women to take it. An upcoming Department of Health and Human Services report is expected to link autism cases and low folate levels to Tylenol use during pregnancy. George Solis spoke with a new mom who took the over-the-counter med during pregnancy.
You were taking acetaminophen because you had discussed it with your doctor.
Yes, and I had discussed with her extensively what I could take.
But a new Health and Human Services report expected to be released this month potentially links autism to pregnant women's use of acetaminophen, the active ingredient in Tylenol, as first reported by the Wall Street Journal, citing people familiar with the matter. In a statement, Kenvue, the maker of Tylenol, saying they have continuously evaluated the science and continue to believe there is no causal link between acetaminophen use during pregnancy and autism.
It's really hard to hear so much conflicting guidance, especially when, it's a lot of it feels like fear-mongering.
The science on the potential association between acetaminophen and autism is mixed.
There is no data that shows Tylenol causes autism.
An HHS spokesperson would neither confirm or deny the story, telling NBC News the upcoming report will use gold standard science. Doctors say pregnant women looking for alternatives to acetaminophen should first consult with their providers.
We do prescribe aspirin at times, not necessarily for pain relief, but because we know it prevents preeclampsia in pregnancy. And so really first-line medication for pain relief is Tylenol.
Jamie Slocum says until her doctor says otherwise, she'll continue taking acetaminophen for future pregnancies.
I think that it's a very stressful time, and the best thing that I can do for myself is talk to my doctor who I trust.
And that was George Solis reporting. Low folate can lead to various health issues, including fatigue, anemia, and tongue inflammation.
Cats could be the key to cracking new insights into Alzheimer's disease. Scientists say some cats develop dementia just like their human counterparts. And just like people, amyloid beta plaques build up in cat brains, potentially causing a series of cognitive problems. Researchers say their observations were similar to what happens in the brains of people with Alzheimer's. Experts hope these findings will help indicate that cats can be valuable for Alzheimer's research.
Fascinating. Post-graduation setbacks, why the economy is proving to be a real-world awakening for students and graduates.
And hands off the Rolex, how a man almost 90 years old fought back when someone tried to steal his $48,000 Rolex off his wrist. Just a reminder, you can watch WRAL News live anytime on WRAL.com or the WRAL app or your streaming device.
Happening now in the WRAL Live Center, Governor Josh Stein ordering today all U.S. and North Carolina flags be flown at half-staff in honor of civil rights activist Major General Joseph McNeil. He passed away last week. He was a member of the Greensboro Four. Those are 4 North Carolina A&T students who sat down to take a stand. They sat down at the Woolworths counter, which was segregated at the time, to take a stand against the civil rights movement. Now, on September 11th, a special service will be held at North Carolina A&T, of course, his alma mater. And then on September 13th, his funeral service will be held in Wilmington. And that's the day the governor is ordering that all U.S. and North Carolina flags be flown at half-staff in honor of Major General McNeil.
Some analysts say the current economy is preventing students and postgraduates from achieving financial independence.
And experts also say that those hardships could hinder their ability to hit important milestones like starting a family or even buying a home. CB Cotton explains the benefits and the drawbacks, too.
Young people who have graduated college and those still in school are facing road bumps in gaining financial independence.
The idea that you want to be able to support yourself, perhaps support a partner, buy or rent your own home yourself without having to live with roommates.
Experts say elevated mortgage rates and the overall rising cost of living are making it harder for most young Americans to buy a home. Assistant Professor of Economics Rohan Shah says living at home with parents can have its pros and cons.
Young adults save on rent. The other side of things, of course, is that by living with their parents, young adults are constrained to their parents' location. Their parents are not necessarily in a big city or a place with a lot of high-paying jobs.
A 2024 Pew Research Center survey revealed young Americans had the lowest job satisfaction compared to other age groups.
Could well be because they are more young adults are living with their parents, and so less able to find jobs that are essentially what they trained for.
Shaw suggests more affordable housing options could bring young adults to cities with higher paying jobs.
Increasing that supply will reduce housing costs for everyone. There'll be a filtering down effect.
Young degree holders are facing one of the toughest job markets in over a decade, as some businesses hold off on hiring new workers because of the economic uncertainty.
That was CB Cotton reporting. Economists say all of these factors have young people pushing back important milestones, including when they'll get married or even have children.
Con artist clash. A pair of would-be thieves thought they identified an easy mark. Little did they know that an older couple was not going down without a fight. The prized possession the couple fought to protect.
And call it an embarrassing start. The NFL season gets on the wrong foot for the New York Jets. And we're not just talking about the loss to the Steelers, why one man was forced to make a crawl of shame. The UNC Tar Heels now 1-1, coming off a win this weekend against UNC Charlotte. It's Bill Belichick's first win as a college football coach. And tonight on WRAL News at 6, we analyze the big investment into UNC's football program and their ultimate play to make more money. We have Ashley Rowe here in studio to talk more about this. Ashley, you have been kind of following the money at UNC, looking at the dollars, looking at the cents behind what is driving Belichick's hire.
Chris, a 5 years, $50 million contract, right? That's the contract that Bill Belichick signed with UNC. This weekend's win put some wind into the sails of Tar Heels fans, but also into the bigger play to drive more revenue for the program. Bill Belichick is at the center of that big money plan. So tonight at 6, we're exploring the multitude of reasons why the Tar Heels need to grow their revenue. Yes, they have to pay players now, right? That's part of it. But when you really look at the numbers, it becomes clear football is king on the balance sheet. Let's put it this way. If you're a Tar Heels basketball fan, all the buzz around Bill Belichick is good for you too. A coach, by the way, who knows the business of football, having spent so much time in the NFL. And I asked him about that. How did the business side of the league help better prepare you for the evolving business landscape of college football?
Very much. We don't have, an unlimited amount of money, which we didn't have in the NFL either. And so you have to figure out how to distribute it and how to, I don't say negotiate, but let's say negotiate and also manage the assets and the resources that you have.
Okay, so you said something earlier. You said that football is king on the balance sheet. But for many people, when they think Tar Heels, they think basketball, not football. So with Belichick's hire, some are asking the question, which is fair, is UNC now a football school?
You know what, Chris, if you look at what team drives more revenue, the answer might surprise you. On the books, it's actually been football for a while. And then if they continue driving revenue the way that they have been over the past several months since Belichick's hire, that may only solidify, but I got to tell you, it's not just UNC. This is not unique to that school. This is at schools across the country, and we're going to talk more about that tonight at 6.
Okay, I'm looking forward to seeing that. Thanks, Ashley.
From Carolina to state now, NC State football coach Dave Doran is speaking to the media today as the Wolfpack get off to a hot start this season. NC State is coming off a victory against Virginia at home over the weekend. They are undefeated at 2-0 right now. The team is set to square off against Wake Forest Thursday in Winston-Salem. Now, Duke head coach Manny Diaz will also be speaking to the media today. We'll tell you what the teams have to say starting in our evening newscast at 4 p.m. The Carolina Panthers head to Arizona next week in search of their first win for the regular season. The Cardinals are coming off an 8-9 season in 2024. The Panthers got off to a rough start. Bryce Young turned the ball over 3 times, leading to 10 points for the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Panthers lost to the Jaguars on the road 26-10.
But it's okay, Panthers fan. Just go outside today. Enjoy the beautiful weather that we have. That's kind of a makeup. Maybe it's not. I don't know.
It's a mood booster, though, for sure.
Definitely a mood booster. And Elizabeth, your mood's been just on cloud 9 today because of how beautiful it's been outside.
Ooh, it is so nice out here. I just can't even tell you. The only thing that's been, kind of interesting is it is windy. We're seeing winds out of the north gusting up to 20, 25 miles per hour. So it's breezy. So So, when it's windy, you got to pull up Wilson. And I'll tell you, the wind has died down here. I pulled this up about 5 minutes or so ago, and the whirligigs were spinning as fast as they possibly could. And so it died down a little there. And here as well, it's not as windy as it was. But we're still looking at gusty conditions. We're seeing gusts occasionally up to 25 there in Rocky Mount and 24 here in the Triangle. And here comes that wind again. 23 in Southern Pines, 26 in Fayetteville, 21 in Clinton. So it's it's a comfortable breeze though. It's nice. It's probably great kite flying weather today. Our next weather maker is that front along the coast that will continue to move away from us. And things are going to be nice and dry as that front continues to move out of our area. And we take a look at what's happening out there with Futurecast. Skies are clearing up really nicely, and we're going to see high pressure in control of our weather. That high pressure system rotating clockwise is helping to keep us nice and cool with that breeze coming out of the north. And this high is going to stick with us for a while. Plenty of rain offshore, but nothing sitting over us. That high is going to just block everything, all that rain suppressed down to the south. So our watering forecast is a big old 0 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I did notice, so I had to water the grass last week, but we did get some rain, of course, on Saturday night, and so that was helpful. You may not have to water just yet, but potentially by the end of the week you may need to. Our drought status is starting to creep back into abnormally dry, just east of Raleigh and just south of Raleigh. It's nothing widespread, not into actual drought yet, but if it continues to stay this dry, then that could definitely be an issue for us. Temperatures are in the 70s for highs Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Overnight tonight we're going to dip into the mid 50s. That's going to be the coolest overnight low, but we're still looking at 50s all the way into Saturday morning. That 55 for tomorrow morning. It's going to be cool if you're sending the kids out to the bus stop and they have to stand there for a little bit. They're probably going to be happier, in a sweatshirt or a light jacket. After that, we get into the weekend. It just looks gorgeous. 82 Friday, 80 Saturday, 82 Sunday. Chamber of Commerce weather, Goldilocks weather. It's what we all look forward to when we're, dealing with July. Back to y'all.
All right, thanks, Elizabeth. Okay, so we want to go back to that question we asked you before. Do you think tipping is a choice or an obligation? 82% say choice, okay, and then 18% say an obligation there.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I think that it is still a choice, although there are times when you feel slightly obligated.
If I go and pick up my meal, I don't think that's a moment to press it personally. And hey, you hit that QR code right there, and we want to hear your opinion as well. Turning the tables, a pair of con artists were no match for an older couple in New York. How they were able to get the upper hand. As we wrap things up, here's a look at a few of the headlines that we're following today. A Raleigh man is facing charges of secret peeping and exposing himself at a local Walmart. 27-year-old Sergio Aguilar Mendoza was arrested Sunday at the Walmart on New Bern Avenue, and court records say that he took photos of a person inside the stall of a woman's bathroom. They say that he also exposed himself on the side of the building.
A car crashed into a business on Hillsborough Street in Raleigh overnight. Police are still searching for the driver. The damaged business is Carolina Kettle, and the car hit the wall of the business behind it as well, called Golf Performance. Witnesses tell police they saw two people run away from the scene around 12:30 a.m.
Fayetteville city leaders plan to keep using gunshot detection technology for at least another year. At tonight's meeting, City Council is set to review a one-year contract extension with ShotSpotter. The contract extension will cost the city $220,000. The system can pick up gunfire within about a 3-mile radius.
A couple in their 80s successfully fought off two would-be robbers. The target, a gold Rolex valued at $48,000. The husband and wife say they were headed to a senior center when a man approached them asking for directions. The man then asked them to talk to his wife, who was inside an SUV. The woman in the SUV tried to take his Rolex, and that's when years of self-defense classes and boxing kicked in.
I grabbed her hand like this. She's inside the car, and I did this. And she was screaming her brains out. I mean, I'm stronger than most people.
Lawrence Schwartz held on to the watch, and police say the two suspects fled the scene. Scratches and bruises on both of their hands are a reminder of the frightening encounter.
They chose the wrong ones. Goodness gracious. All right, so talk about a bizarre start to the NFL season. A worker somehow lost their bearings and ended up trapped on a field-sized American flag. That's not funny. The national anthem yesterday afternoon. This went viral with some fans posting, "How does this even happen?" Well, the Pittsburgh Steelers beat the New York Jets 34-32. Close game, but strange moment there.
Here's our pet of the day, a true mix of two American Bulldog parents. This is Brodus, weighing in at 102 pounds, 2 years old, has a golden coat and a golden heart. Now, if you would like to meet Brodus, contact Love Mutts Rescue. NBC News Daily is next on WRAL. Your next local news update in 30 minutes.
We'll see you soon.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.